Okay. As Florian explained you, very often with customer we start with what we name POC or de-risking phase. We have to understand what are the risks of the process. Sometimes obviously a customer very well know the process and we have just to say, okay, no problem, we can directly implement it in a machine. But very often, especially in dispensing or in vision system, we have to go through a de-risking phase or a test phase to ensure to everybody, to the customer obviously, but also to suppose that we can perfectly handle the process. Here typically you can see the dispensing of very, very small volume of lubrication, oil. It looks very easy, but if you consider that these have less than 1 millimeter size, obviously you can imagine the precision we need to have to deposit a very small droplet of lubrication in a very repeatable model. On such kind of deposition, we can ensure a precision of plus or minus 10% of the final volume. And very often we go down to nanoliter. I don't know if it speaks to you nanoliters, but it's a point of a pen on a paper, more or less. The volume, it's a point of a pen on a paper. We also use other technology. This is without contact but traditional pressure system, and this is what we name drop jet, that allows us to have a non-contact deposition with very high accuracy, and also to reach sometimes shapes or parts of the components who are not really easy to access with traditional systems.
So it's like an inkjet printer. It's like an inkjet.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly the same technology as the inkjet, but used for deposition of lubrication, glue. We discover and we develop this center of competencies because in many cases our customer come for a machine, for an assembly machine, where there is something to dispense. Very often for lubrication, grease or oil. Very often also to glue something, to stick two elements together. Very often you have to deposit maybe a lacquer to protect something during the process.
Is this, do you use a vision system?
Yes.
To look? Yeah.
As also Florian explained one of our competence center is vision system. And also here, we sometimes have to go through a vision test. Very easy, it's not really a de-risking or a proof of concept. But it allows us also to test on the bench. Tu peux juste la mettre en marche? Merci. It allows us to, for example, if we have a new component from the customer, this guy from the software department can directly put it on our ModuFeed system. It's a smart feeding system, and detect if we can easily recognize the components, the size of the components, the position of the components, maybe also some shapes already, to then or directly pick the components to put it on the machine. You will see that after. Or maybe to start to try to understand what is wrong on the components or not.